For this video, we're going to go over the distributive property. In algebra, the distributive property is one of the big dog, for lack of better words, in algebra. So if you suck at doing distribution, you're going to suck at algebra. So this is the one thing that you should practice the most on, get used to it until it becomes easy. So let's get started. So what the distributive property is that it means that when you multiply 2 times parentheses 4x plus 3y, you multiply the 2 separately into each of the unit here. So what that looks like is that 2 times 4x plus 2 times 3y, and that becomes 8x plus 6y, and that's your answer. And our second problem will show how the distributive property works when there's a negative sign. So first, we got to multiply them individually. So negative 3 times 3x. Let's write them down separately like this first so you know what that's going to look like. Negative 3 times 4y. Now, why didn't I include the negative 4 in here and turn this into a plus sign? Because I want to show you how this negative sign thing affects the problem altogether. So this is the long way of doing it, but I want to show you what it looks like in the long way. You can always shortcut it later yourself if you want. So here we have negative 9x minus negative 12, 3 times 4y. So what that looks like is negative 9x, negative becomes positive, plus 12y, and that's our answer. So you could entirely skip this step right here and just turn this into a positive, and like that, and you'll get the same answer. But I don't want to be skipping any small steps here so that you can see why it's the way it is. So next problem, 8x times 7x squared minus 3. So using the distributive property, 8x times 7x squared minus 8x times 3. Okay, so equals 8 times 7, 56x, and x squared. Remember, when you multiply the same variable with a different power, you just add the power. So x to the power of 1 plus 2 is x to the cube minus 24x, and that's our answer. Next problem, negative x cubed minus 5x squared plus y to the 6th. Same thing. Negative x cubed times negative 5x squared plus negative x cubed times y to the power of 6. So here we have negative and negative. The answer will be positive. So 5x to the 5th. Now, if this is a negative here, remember we're not doing addition, so you're not going to be minusing or adding anything. This is multiplication. So it looks a bit confusing, but try to get used to seeing it like this. Plus, so since here it's a negative and a positive, the answer will be negative. So negative x cubed y 6, and that's our distribution of this. Next is a bigger distribution problem, and like I said, this is something you will see very regularly in algebra, so you just got to do it step by step. 5xy. So for this problem, we're going to multiply it 3 times individually in the distribution. So 5xy times x squared minus 5xy times 4xy plus 5xy times 25y squared. So let's do it one by one. 5 times nothing times 1 is 5x cubed y minus it's gonna be a negative because there's it's positive in here and there's a negative outside, so minus 5 times 4 is 20, x and x squared, y and y squared, plus 5 times 125 is 125 x by itself and y cubed. So that's our answer. It's not that difficult as you see. Its test takes a long time, but if you do every step carefully, you'll arrive at a relatively clean answer. Most algebra problems will always give you a clean answer. It will never look weird or dirty or anything like that. So that's the distributive property.